everybody. Pastor Randy here. Great to be with you on a beautiful Thursday for the wrapping up the week for Making It Simple. It's been a great journey this week. We've started this new study, religion versus relationship. And the entire goal of this study together, however long it takes, is to provide clarity. Clarity. Because oftentimes we find the covering, if you will, the veil, the blanket statement of religion that just, it gets in the way. And again, I know to some that sounds offensive, and that's not my intent. But I want to turn the dial, if you will. I want us to look in a different direction. I want us to realize it's not about religion. And this is the whole entire point of this study, and to ultimately get us to that place to understand not only just the differential between the two words, but between the outcome. You see, religion, as I've shared, can be anything. It can be anything to anybody. All right? That is a broad spectrum word. That is one that someone can define. I'll give you a quick, maybe silly answer, but a real one, a real illustration. Let me see, how far ago was this? This would have been in 1997 or 8. All right, so a long time ago, or so it seems. I was working a call when I was a police officer. I had to go to this home. And it was a horrifying situation because it involved the abuse of some children. All right, and I don't want to go into the details of that because it was very, very bad. But where this turns and how this fits into this conversation was the fact that once you entered this home, it to this day, and that's we're approaching 30 years, not quite, but we're approaching 30 years. May have been absolutely within the top 3 of the nastiest, filthiest places I have ever walked into that was resided in by a human being. Never seen anything like it in my life. Never. We're not talking about just clutter. We're talking about absolute filth. We're talking about rotten food with bugs and flies and maggots. We're talking about animal feces from one end of the room to the other. And I'm talking about literal. I'm talking about there were 15 dogs that lived inside of this house. And probably that many or more cats. Birds flying all over the places. All kinds of stuff. And none of these things went outside. None of them. None of them walked outside and did took care of nature out there. The toilet was clogged and had been clogged for I don't know how long because they had attempted to pour the cat litter down the toilet and it just solidified into basically concrete. And so these humans who lived in this house, 3 adults lived in this house, were using 5-gallon buckets for a bathroom, and I don't have to tell you how disgusting that is, and they're sitting all over the place. So the sheets on these kids' beds were blacker than my hat because of mildew and mold. So I'm painting that picture, and while it's a horrifying scene to imagine that not only children were exposed to this, but people were actively living in this. Here's where it ties to my point, my illustration. As I'm leaving and I'm having to take these children from this home for protective services purposes, not only because of the condition, but because they were being sexually abused, I asked the lady of this home, because I was just puzzled beyond belief. I couldn't believe it. And while it wasn't protocol to get into people's personal lives and you really weren't supposed to say stuff, at that moment I was beyond protocol. And I turned to this lady, and I'll never forget this, and I said, "Ma'am, I've got to ask you a question. How on earth do you live this way?" And this was her answer. "This is our religion." And I'm just going to leave it at that. Religion can be anything to anyone. Now, in the grand scheme of things, in the broad brush stroke of the world, oftentimes following Christ falls under the banner of Christianity, Okay? And that is deemed as one of the world's religions. But let me share with you today, we don't need religion. We don't. We do not need religion, friends. What we need is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. That's it. That's what we need. We need a personal relationship with the one. In fact, I would go further, and I'm going to show this to you in just a minute. The only one who can save our souls. You say, well, Pastor, that's awful bold, okay, in a world that teaches, that there's an enormity of things to believe. There absolutely is. There's a lot of things you can believe. A lot of people believe in a lot of things, and that goes from mermaids to Bigfoot, UFOs. I mean, we're talking about people believe in all kinds of stuff, but that is speculative, that is skeptical, that is all these different things because everybody has different ideas. But here, I want to share this with you as we're going to wrap up the lesson today, a little shorter today, because I want to save the next part until we come back together on Monday. But here we go. Acts chapter 4 and verse 12. There is salvation, okay, that is the saving of your soul, in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to people by which we must be saved. And what name is that? The name of Jesus. Friends, He's the answer. It always has been, always will be. We're going to dive deeper into this when we come back together on Monday for the next Making It Simple. But I wanted to leave you with that as we wrap up our week. I've got a travel day tomorrow. I've got to go down and take care of Mom and Dad for a little while. But I want us to think about that. This is not about religion. Never has been, never will be, because religion will not save your soul. Only Jesus. God bless you, friends. I'll see you on Monday, Lord willing. Have a great day and a great weekend. God bless you.